you know. I want to thank Sal for his presentation. It helped me figure out the set of poems I was going to do, and these have to do with scale. That's probably the theme. And so here we go. I'm going to begin with some haiku short pieces and build from there. And I got my timer running. I remembered. So we begin with, of course, the world's problems. And this is my take on that. He's a haiku. Building a planet just possibly easier than fixing this mess. And not to leave anybody hanging, planetary recipe. Start with iron, bring to a boil, add ice as needed. And the codicil to that serves 10 billion. So haikus of scale. There's this one, which will take us back to the thrilling years of God Almighty Yesterday. White House dilemma. Stage a first responder with the worst responder. And for those of you who are into meditation and transcendentalism and things like that, this is for you. Sidewalk puddle, snowflakes and their reflections vanish together. And going back to those same old thrilling days of yesterdump. Story in the news. He says, what'll Trump do? I say, make it worse. Haiku. And this is a poem that is dedicated to my wife. I like reading this because she likes me to read it. And so here we go. Were it not for her eyes upon me, in that one intimate moment with mine upon hers, both of ours reflecting in and through one another's, this moment where we were, as we have always been together, so perfect still on that one day, one morning where in one small moment we found more than can be found in all the eternities which came before, as well as all of those certainly to come after. In that moment, were it not for her eyes upon me, in joy, in love, in the presence of all we hold dear, all we indeed hold of this world. Oh yes, for I might have wondered, were it not for her eyes then and there, what would have become of me without all this? And thank you for the comments. So now this is Publix going back to the 70s, very short. Red, juicy. Cannibals eating meat. This jungle world, dog eat dog rat race. Their cancers, revolution, eating them out. Capitalists chewing fatty beef, waiting for the special of the day. Working man's hands in a rich brown gravy. Politics, like I say. And I notice we're mostly of an age where this will come. There's a famous quote, one small step. People know that one. And this poem is inspired by that quotation, that event. One small step. It was a time of dreams when hope, like never before, had everyone looking up. All around the world, they said, "We did it." Not Americans, not they, but we. It was a time when we saw what we could do. And when I saw that fragile, singular blue, white, brown, and green marble rise above a haunting, dead gray horizon, saw that one small place amid a bitter cold, vast and dark, I believed that chance had come to be in favor of life, and that justice, favored by the arc of history, would take us all to the heights, to that mountaintop. And we turn to regard one another with a perspective that has yet made all the difference, and which plays out the world over, bringing us toward peace. All right. Uh, so this is a bit of humor, but it has ecological overtones, as you will see. This is my ode to pee. Oh, it was written in a bathroom, by the way. It was inspired by the moment. At least most of it was. Here we go. Ode to pee. Bless this water that has passed through me. Bless this water on its way to the wine dark sea. May this water catch a moonbeam's glint just so to shimmer in the eyes of a beauty's ardent face aglow. Bless it and all the waters with which it flows and blends. Bless that and all the air in which its mingling vapor ascends. By this means, bless the seven winds, which carry it away over the seven seas, to mountains, farmlands, every hill and dale, and into coastal fogs where it precipitates from trees. Nor forget sunset, where its glowing, glimmering prism catches the sovereign's blazing rainbow hues, or in the moon's silvery light, playing it at the limb of our pellicle of atmosphere to cast an eerie halo of high, austere, icy delight. Bless this water that once was I, that once was a part of my mind, heart, and eye. Bless this water from the one cup we share. Bless the passing of excess to spare. Yes, blessings pour, each drop from the sky, to clothe the world in the beauty we espy. Forever a river flows through us within. Thus do I offer unto thee this overwritten ode to peace. Yes. And now I was once asked about, for a writing project somewhere, about who influenced me. And I began to write a paragraph to answer that. And the paragraph became a poem. And then I decided to make it into a piece of poetry. Of course, it's called Upon Being Asked, Who Influenced You? All right, so this is the poem. How and when does a story begin? How are we to know? When I think of on it, any tale, no matter its size, must begin long ago. So when asked who influenced me, I gave my friend this analogy. Consider a stream, I said, even a small one, near to hand. Is not its source ever guided by the contours of the land? Is it not deflected by every rock, bit of soil, or living thing with which it coexists before or after the stony lip of its spring? And are not all these things but a postscript proceeding from a source which charges the nature of the stream and so affects its discourse? Nor should I fail to say that forests and men alike surely do amend it, for its worth is clear to those temporal beings who can apprehend it. But the fishes and all the living things cannot be the stream, nor for that matter can it be the water, or so it would seem, for the flow is ever carried off, even as we watch for sport, whether by evaporation or gravity's simple transport. It's surely not its path or the things it is carried off, nor could it be its remains, a shallow drying trough. A stream, then, is a time and place dependent upon conditions which, if the truth be told, must have the utmost antiquity as its origins. Preconditions, which, if they be scientifically analyzed withal, stretch back into the beginnings of time and matter, immemorial. And perforce, do they not, I waxed, extend to onward in time until the very edge of doom itself. Imagine a stream sublime. And so full circle I came as my analogy found its end. What are the credits I must roll to answer, my friend? No less than everyone who has ever been or may yet be. Nothing less than that full chorus, say I, have clearly influenced me. Just covering all the bases, I suppose. And now we get to something more direly political. This is called Mother's Day, and it's not what you think, but you'll see what I mean. Mother's Day. Whose gentle hands reach out to receive the bodies that are brought in? Whose gentle hand bear the simple folded cloth of white? Whose gentle hands then wash the remains softly, sweetly, one last time, a blessing of ablution? And who in silent reminiscence feel a tear trickle now and again because of someone's hair or eyes being familiar? Whose gentle hands then wrap the bodies? Whose lips murmur? And who in concert bear up a corpse to then lay it gently out for view, its face set in profound sleep? Women are veterans all. They've been in all the wars, all the time, battlefield or no, win, lose, or draw. Upon them are visited those nightmare haunts and aching griefs which settle in, become memories, memoirs, mementos, those tokens whose silent display tell all that can be told without speech. What do women mean to do for the dying and the dead? What do they all pray for? How do they carry it all? As life goes on and living becomes something else, which becomes anything else besides what it was once upon a time? How do their eyes, searching, see this world after dressing wounds so deep, so red? How do their hands feel that which can no longer give feelings in return? Whose gentle hands, whose sighing wish may well be as nothing is, just as the care they take is when tending their own torn sorrows, or in sufferance how such has at them, no matter how long or far time or their simple journeys may ever take them. Mother's Day. Yeah, I was inspired by a news story recently, and of course, all those the fields of war, it applies, and should have given a trigger warning for that, perhaps. So I'm going to they have a couple more here, maybe one, we'll see, maybe three, but we'll see. This is an optimistic piece, even though in terms of, like I said at the beginning, the time scale of this poem and the next are both considerable. This is for Carlos Ramirez, a friend of mine who passed away a number of years back as a poet and a performer. I think he would have liked this, and that's why I dedicate it to him. Worlds. Oh, my friends, there are worlds, and good ones, beautiful worlds, so wondrous and full of marvels as to make one weep. There are worlds where peace is all there is, and nature is let to run rampant. The verge is rank with skies and seas full of life. Animals who see your soul's light with hearts innocent of fear or rage. There are worlds gowned in clouds of delight, graced with rivers of love, where ranges upon ranges of emotional peace rest under the glowing countenance of their moons dancing in the firmament. Worlds such as songs are made of, as epic poems might suit, where painters upon an overlook could gaze at a life's work set before them. Where God is happy, life tame, and where we'd be glad to be were we there instead of where we are, dazed and confused by our own earthly illusions. Oh, forsake fight or flight, let go of want, our past histories of unending sorrows, poor reasoning and martial drums. For there are worlds, this poor scribbler asserts, no artist could hope to convey without a proper preparation, a long, restful life of enjoyment, a million-year picnic. Then they could provide a semblance of one such world. So it is that I tell you, this is a magnificent universe, well made and fit for who but us? Well, or those of our kind. And it is like the mystical Ganges with its endless beaches, where each glowing sand grain is a full repository of galaxies strung like beads in a glowing firmament of stardust. So there are worlds. And then there's us and our longing, our song, so profoundly deep and unending that even this grand universe and all of its works couldn't possibly contain it. Or so I feel. I told you it's optimistic. And then this one again is long in scale. I'll probably conclude with this one. Some people have probably heard this before. I read it oftentimes. It's one of my favorites. Light, light, light. From the start of this universe until now, there has always been the light. Clearly, it is an essential factor, for what else do we all come to eventually and aright but the light, light, light. No thing overshadows this. It's what moves this poor body, causes my fingers to trace such moments as this, counsels the passion coursing my heart well, and what so enlivens my giddy soul tonight but the light, light, light. Terms cannot describe or contain this. Actions provide mere indications. Lyrics might bear it so long as the breath bears them. Nothing temporal can truly be seen without it, and all things eternal are made up only of it. What else moves us within so as to create without, passing for inspiration's sight, but the light, light, light. And so in the deep cold world of winter, when sullen, lifeless, and leaden heavens occlude the hope of celestial bodies, when the landscape beneath is set in a monochromatic display. Yes, fish may still seize the day beneath their ice. Yes, furtive, burrowing survivors do abide, and the heart of an owl harbors its heated blood as it wings down silently after sighting its prey. Dark talons clutch the unwary or luckless, where blood spatters on moonlit white. What else rules there but the light, light, light? What muffles the tolling bell better than distance and time? What rings it ever clearer to echo in the mind? What is the message it means to send all these years later? What do I do by telling you this? Why do such words as these make their way here? What causes my spirit to soar, my heart then mine to quicken? What makes a singular difference, no matter how seemingly slight, but the light, light, light? Now, when death is no longer that distant, dismissed threat, but present, promise, and immediately certain, your intimate companion, if you will, waiting on you, so to speak, hand and foot, what will move until that very last? What makes its essential difference felt? What else is there to keep in sight but the light, light, light? I think I'll end there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tony.
Wonderful, Dan. Thank you very, very much. Everybody can